All right. We are up on YouTube. Let's get going over here. And I'm late as usual. Well, I'm close to late. All right. Looks good there. All right. Why does it look weird? Does it look weird or is it me? There, answer my own question. All right. So just another minute or so I'll give it before we get rolling. And um, I'm like so happy to be back on a normal schedule again. I had a couple appointments over the weeks and just, life gets in the way. So sometimes I miss you guys, but well, I miss you guys all the time, but sometimes I miss you on Saturday mornings. How's that? But there's so much uploaded that you can always see me, you can pretend it's real. Live. Something. All right. So it's about time. Actually still early. Strange. So maybe I made another little second. Oh, so my Apple Watch does not match my Apple phone. What is that about? What time is it? So, all right. Good morning. Good morning. Today we're going to work the middle, and we're going to incorporate some of our standing poses. Excuse me. Hopefully that won't happen all class. Um, Incorporating our standing poses in with our sun salutes, so we get the work of the extra sun salutations, and we're going to wind our standing stuff in there. So maybe it won't be, I don't know, maybe it won't be as challenging. Maybe it'll be more challenging. Let's see, right? Well, let's see what happens. So remember, though, that if you are maybe feeling like you need a restorative day, you do the class that I sent out last week. Or you just back off, right? You can skip the planks. You can take kneeling planks instead of full planks. Um, yeah, any modifications you need to make the practice right for you today, this morning. Some mornings it's like you roll out of bed and everything aches, right? Those days. And then some days are totally fine. So let's see what kind of day it is. Remember to honor your body and let's go have some fun. So we're actually going to start standing today. A little different, maybe, especially after last week. So bring your feet right up under your hip bones. Right? So the hip points here, not these here, right? We tend to have our toes either in or out. So check that the toes point forward. And then find the four corners of your feet. If you have a really squishy mat or like me, you're on carpeting, it can be a little tricky, right? You can really move your foot a lot. So see if you can find those four corners nice and even into the floor and then push down into them. And all of a sudden the legs are working. So let's make that lower belly work. Lift the pelvic floor, lower belly in and up, tall through the sides. And we all just grew 3 inches. Relax the shoulders. Let the arms be heavy at the sides of your body. If you like the palms forward idea with your hands, that's totally fine, but not necessary. Closing your eyes, see if you can feel the bottom tips of your ears move back. And you'll feel the weight of the head right over those shoulders. Grounding down and growing tall. Lots of opposites in yoga. See if you can find that middle. And then just kind of check in. What feels good? Maybe what needs a little extra love? What really needs a big stretch? And then begin to connect with your breath. Take a moment to just notice, be thankful. Maybe notice a quality about your breath. Lots of times we count, right? So that's a quantity, but see if you can find a quality. Allow your breath to expand. And work to a just beyond comfortable place. So it's a little bit of a stretch, just like we do with the body, same idea. Keeping what we've created here, right? So the physical postures are just on top of what we've already created. With the next inhale, we're going to take those arms, we're going to stretch them up to the ceiling. And on the inhale or exhale, bring them back down again. Just like that again. Up, inhale. And down on the exhale. Once more. Come on back to the top. When you're there, interlacing the fingers, you can rotate the palms toward the ceiling if you like. Exhale, tip yourself over to the right. Inhale, come on back to the middle. And exhale over to the left. Follow your breath side to side, just like that. And as the upper body moves, the lower body wants to shift, right? See how centered and strong, stable you can keep that lower body. Let's go once more on each side. Get in there as good as it's going to get for now, making sure that your belly's still engaged. When you're back to center, of course, exhaling, release the arms back to your sides. Inhale, lift back up again. This time as you exhale, take your left hand forward and reach the right hand behind. Inhale, come on back up to the top. Exhale, twisting over to the left. So with the breath like that. And play with your twist here. So you can gently make the twist bigger. You can focus more on just twisting the upper body and keeping the lower body really still. Just kind of see what you need. What do you need this morning? Let's go once more on each side. And when you're back to center, releasing the arms back to the sides again. Resting the hands on the thighs here. Belly in, shoulders stay back. On the way down, exhale, come forward. Little bend in the knees, roll up through the spine. Inhale and come back up. So in and out like that, coming forward, flat back. Inhaling and really rounding back there. Let's take a couple more like that. Let's come forward then into a half fold and hold here. So belly's in, shoulders are back. The upper body is parallel-ish to the floor. If you need to be leaning with your hands on your thighs, absolutely do. If this is a giant hamstring stretch, you are done. But you probably have a little more to get. So let's see. Keeping the spine nice and neutral here. Inhale where you are, and then exhale, tip in a little deeper. Inhale back into that halfway place, and then exhale a little deeper, yeah. So in and out like that, with your breath, finding where the edge is. Finding that just beyond comfortable place. And again, once you've found it, you don't necessarily have to come in and out. You can hang there for another breath or two. Let's take just a couple more breaths here. Again, working a little deeper into your fold, or holding once you've found that place. So then from our fold, we're going to go ahead and step the right foot back into a lunge. Nice big step back. Listen to your body. And then just kind of wiggle around a little bit. Find a center and imagine pulling your legs toward each other here. So really feeling the hips square. If you need to take the back knee to the floor, you can take that to the floor. Prop up if you need a prop. Maybe take the left leg straighter. Doesn't have to go straight. It's early, remember. Shoulders are down and back, belly is in, hips are squared. Big full breaths. And then we'll take a little cushion bend back into that knee, step forward into the fold again. Notice if you are feeling any different after that. Right and left here. And then let's even it up. So go ahead and step the left foot back. Again, nice big step, drop the back knee, wiggle around a little bit. And then again here, kind of finding your center. Envision pulling your legs toward each other. And we'll take the right leg straighter. Again, modifying here if you need. Finding your edge. And then bending back at the knee again, we'll step forward into our fold. And just kind of check in and see how your fold feels a little different now that we've started there. And then from here, let's make our way into a down dog. Just like the little lunge, go ahead and allow yourself to wiggle into it a little bit. Bicycle your heels, shift through your shoulders. The body should be pretty warm, but this is the first time we're technically, not the first time, but upside down-ish. So check in that the feet are still hip bone distance apart. If the heels move to the floor, lovely. If they don't panic, don't move them. It doesn't matter. So shifting yourself forward, come into a plank here. Wrists under shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide. Make sure the belly is engaged here. Find your center, find your shoulders, and then back to your down dog. So we're going to go in and out like that with the breath. On an inhale, slide yourself forward. With the exhale, take it back. So just like that, in and out. Keep the belly engaged, protecting your lower back. Let's go one more time like that. And then go ahead and drop it down. Take a little break in child's pose here. So remember, you can make those more difficult. You can make them less difficult. You can hang out in child's pose if that's what you need to. So let's add on to that. Go ahead and make your way back to down dog. And we're doing the same idea, only with one leg up off the foot. So lift your right leg away from the mat, keeping everything else the same. So a lot of times that hip wants to lift and the toes point out to the side, or it gets all weird and sloppy. Keep pressing the chest back, pressing through the heels, hips are level. Keeping the belly pulled in on an inhale, slide yourself forward, keeping the right toes away from the floor. And then back, three-legged dog. So again, let's go once more. And then release the right foot. And you switch sides. So remember to take a break if you need to take a break. Drop the knee. You can absolutely do this in healing. Taking the left leg over up, stretching through the heel. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, back to your down dog. Again. One more. Go ahead and release the left toes. And this time we'll go ahead and sit back into our child's pose again. We're going to add on one more. So let's make our way back to down dog. Let's go ahead and lift the right leg again. Pressing through the heel. For here, we're going to open up that right hip. So toes point nice and high, bending at the knee. Try to open the knee toward the ceiling. Keeping the chest pressing back. And then go ahead and take that leg straight again. Square your hips, keep your belly in, slide forward, hold. Back to three-legged dog. Releasing the right heel. And then going to the second side. So taking that left leg, lift it. Go ahead and open the hip. Toes nice and high, bending at the knee. Try keeping the shoulders, level. Let's take legs straight, square your hips again. Slide forward, hold. Back to your three-legged dog. Releasing the left toes. And dropping on down again. So one more addition. Modify if you need to modify, of course. We're going to take what we just did and add on. So back to down dog. Lifting the right leg, open the hip, bend at the knee. Taking that leg straight, square your hips, use your belly, slide forward. Keep your right toes up off the floor. Bend your elbows, drop to the belly. And then release. So gracefully or not, you made your way there. Taking the hands next to the sides of the ribs, they land under the shoulders often, but we want them back. We want to hug the elbows to the body. And then just using the breath here, let's roll our shoulders for a moment. On an inhale, roll them up by your ears, together on your back, and down towards your hip bones. Exhaling to release that. So inhale to roll up. Exhale, come on back down. To begin with, make it mostly just a shoulder shrug. Right? The rest of the body doesn't have to do a thing. One more. Releasing. We're going to come back to it, I promise. Pull the belly in as if you were going to lift your belly button away from the floor. Press down into the knees, hug the elbows in, press down into the hands, work yourself up into plank or kneeling plank. And drop on down into your child's pose. And back into your child's pose. All right, so now you know where we're going. Let's go ahead and lift back into down dog. Lift the left leg, open the hip, bend the knee. And then take the legs straight, squaring your hips, slide forward. Elbows tight to the sides, drop down. Releasing the toes, hands next to the side ribs. This time, roll your shoulders and hold that. So curling the chest away from the floor. You can be handless here, right? Because it's all your shoulders, upper back, chest, bum. And then take your hands and pull like you're pulling your belly button forward. Activating the triceps, getting a little lift there. If you want a little bit more, keep the pull, but start to press. So the elbows stay into the waist, the shoulders stay away from the ears, the chest is open and lifted, and you're breathing. Release it. Pressing into the knees, lift the belly, everything lifts up off the floor together, plank or kneeling, and back to your child's pose. Big full breaths here. And then let's make our way back to down dog. So from down dog here, we're going to go ahead and step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Bring it up as close as it's going to get. See where your hips will sink. Bring it down there a little bit. Make sure you engage your belly. Step your right foot back to your down dog. So we're going to do that same side again. And work to place the foot exactly where you need to place it. So let's go. Right foot to the outside of the right hand. And we didn't quite make it, but we need to get closer. So again, kind of sinking into the hips, wiggling around a little bit. Engaging the core so you can step that right foot back. One more time, we're going to place that foot exactly where we need to, as lightly as you can. So momentum makes us like stuck like your giant elephants, right? If you activate the core, you can land a little lighter usually. So precisely where you mean to, exactly how you want it to land. Let's step back, down dog. All right, so same idea on the second side. Left foot to the outside of the hand. And a lot of times that first time it just kind of goes where it goes. Allow yourself to wiggle around a little bit. Use the belly, step back. So again, making it a little bit more precise. Engaging the core and stepping back. We're going to go one more time, landing as lightly as you can, precisely where you need to. And then using the belly to step yourself back to your down dog. Dropping down to the knees, one more time in your child's pose here. And then into down dog. So when we picked up the 1 foot and stepped to the outside of the wrist, you may or may not have made it right away, right? But who cares? Either way, it worked and it's fine, right? So keep that mentality. Come up on your toes and bend your knees. And then get a little bouncy here, right? Bending the knees, getting a little momentum. Use your belly and hop your feet to the inside back of your hands-ish. And as long as you don't fall on your face, it's okay. Right? So your feet may not make it to your hands, so what? So here we're going to go ahead and slide the hands up to the thighs, come back to that half fold, right, where we started earlier. So the belly's in, you're leaning on your legs if you need to, your shoulders are back. Keeping this 90-degree bend in the hip, go ahead and bend your knees and find chair. So hang on, of course, if you need to. Tucking the tailbone so the bottom doesn't stick out like so. Hands may center, they can extend wherever makes you happy. 4 corners of your feet, keeping your chest open and lifted. With an inhale, we're going to stretch to the ceiling and release the arms. All right. So here you want to decide if you need a little support. The hands on either side of the lower back. You can interlace your fingers back there. You can open your arms. You can have them extended, whatever makes you happy. I like to start off a little bit more conservative and then play with it as my body responds. Right? So 4 corners of the feet, little tuck of the tailbone. Belly's in. Hands again where you feel like you need them for now. Keeping the shoulders pulling back, elbows pulling toward each other. Imagine lifting your chest toward the ceiling. So a gentle little back bend. And once you're there, you can play with it and see if your body wants more. Make sure the lower back stays long and the back of your neck as well. So if you just let your head flat back, it's harder to breathe. It's not very good for your cervical spine. Keep everything nice and long. Big full breaths. One more. And with an inhale, gently make your way back up. And release your arms. Take the hands back to the thighs again here. And even if you weren't necessarily leaning before, go ahead and lean on your hands. Gently bring yourself forward into a half fold with that nice flat back. And then we're going to play with this a little bit. So if this is a ton of work, then again, you don't have to add anything on. You can continue to lean with your hands. We want to keep the hips over the ankles and the legs straight and the shoulders down. So if you can keep that and take the arms on the sides, try that. The minute something starts to bend or shift or droop, right? Stop. Maybe take the arms out to the sides. Hands right in line with the shoulders. Check, because sometimes they're not where you think they are. And if that's not enough fun, take those arms alongside the ears, fingertips to hips in a nice straight line. So the body looks like an upside down L-ish. Okay. Bend back into your knees, come to a chair. And all the way to the top again. Inhale. And release. All right. So here we go with our sun salutes. And of course, they can start off a little easier. You can go a little bit more intense, and then if and when you get tired, you can cut it down. So at the top of the mat, four corners of the feet. Standing nice and tall on your inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhaling, come halfway up. We're going to exhale the right foot back in the lunge. Nice big step back. Again, back knee can drop if you need it. Sweep the legs toward each other, take that left leg straight. So now if this is no big deal, let your left foot go pointing toward the ceiling. Keep the shoulders back. You can walk the hands back toward that right foot. Take another big breath. Go ahead and release the foot if you lifted. Bend back into the knee, step back down low. Inhale, slide forward into plank. Exhale to the belly. Inhale as you roll into your cobra. You can make it a little bigger if you'd like. Releasing, keeping the elbows in, up and back to down dog. And then the right foot steps forward. So bringing the toes all the way up to the fingers. Same idea here, kind of sweeping those legs toward each other. Right leg goes straight. Top of the knee. Make it more challenging if and when you're ready. And we'll repeat 6, bending back into the knee and stepping forward into fold. Halfway up. Exhale back over. And then reach to the ceiling. Exhale, release. And do it again. Inhale, lift. Exhale into your fold. And then halfway up. Stepping that left foot back this time into your lunge. Sweep the legs toward each other. We're going to keep the legs bent, or the right knee bent here. Bring the right hand to the hip and add in a twist. Hips are square, spine is long. Big full breaths. Let's go ahead and release that twist. Step back to down dog. Slide forward into plank on your inhale. And exhale to the belly. Open into cobra, inhale. Take it back to down dog. Stepping forward with the left foot. Goes all the way up there. Adjust until that foot is exactly where you need it to be. Sweeping the legs toward each other. When you're ready, take the left hand to the hip and twist. Let's release the twist. Step forward into fold. Come halfway up. Folding back over. And then reaching for the ceiling. Exhale at the top. And do it again. So in that lift, over into the fold, halfway up. Right foot back again into our lunge. Drop the knee if you're not feeling especially balancy today. Sweep the legs toward each other, climb on up, bringing the upper body as vertical as you can. Hang on if you'd like, or reach the arms. One more breath. And then release it. Make your way back to down dog. Slide forward on an inhale, plank. Exhaling to the belly. Roll into cobra. And then back, down dog. Stepping forward with the right foot. Working those toes all the way up. Making ourselves stable and climbing up. Keeping that back leg straight as the upper body lifts. Extending the arms if that's you. Let's release it. Come back over into the lunge. Stepping forward into fold. Coming halfway up. And then back over. Reaching to the ceiling. And exhale, release. Again. Inhale up. Take it to your fold. And halfway up. And step the left foot back into lunge. This time here, we're going to drop the back heel. Keep the knee over the ankle. Take that left hand and make it pretty. Sweep it forward, up and back. Finding warrior two. So adjust your feet if they're not perfect. Shoulders over hips. Arms parallel to the floor. And easy breaths. And then cartwheel back over, come into lunge, and back to down dog. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale to the belly. Inhaling cobra. Back to down dog. And then the left foot steps forward. Take your time. Get that foot exactly where you need that to be. And again, if it needs to be adjusted once you get there, fine. Drop the back heel. Take the right arm, sweep it forward, up and down, warrior two. Remember, you can always adjust your poses. Sometimes it's because you don't land perfectly, and sometimes it's because as you hold, your body says yes or no. Let's cartwheel back over again into our lunge. Stepping forward into the fold. Coming halfway up. Folding over again. Reach to the ceiling. Exhale, release. One more time. So let's inhale up. Exhale, into a fold. Halfway up. Stepping back with the right foot. Let's get their leg through our warrior two. So drop the back heel, wings melt up. This time, take the left leg straight. Reach forward and hinge into triangle. So lean if you need to lean. Prop if you'd like to prop. Keep the hips and shoulders open to the side, not the floor. Moving up with that right hand if you like. And then we're going to release it. Come back over into the lunge. Step back to down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhaling down. Cobra. And then back to down dog. Alright, so last one here. Let's step that right foot forward. Precisely where you need to go. Drop the back heel. Warrior two. Into that straight leg. Reaching forward and hinging over. Take your time. Adjust if you need to adjust. And breathe. Let's go ahead and release that. Come back over into the lunge. Step forward into fold. Halfway up. Fold back over. Reach it up all the way. And exhale, release it. All right, so you're done with your sun salute, you're done with your standing poses. Well, mostly with the balance. So we're going to use tree, and we're going to complicate it until it's challenging enough, right? So sometimes it's like you go into tree and then in the morning time you could stand there all day long. Add something so that you can't stand there all day long. Right? Make it just a little bit more challenging. But we don't have all of it. So let's take all the weight over into the right foot. Think about those four corners. Four corners, four corners, four corners. Keeping that leg straight and strong as we lift the left. Open up the knee and bring the foot in. Avoid your knee joint, otherwise anywhere that foot needs to go. Hug the legs toward each other. Engage. Make sure the belly is working. Stand really tall. Head in line with your spine. If you're looking down, your head is forward. If you'd like to extend the arms, add that little piece together or open at the top. Maybe it's looking up today that adds the challenge. Maybe it's a little sway. Your arms. Find something that challenges. We're going to bring it back to center. And release it. So just like the let's take that second side. Same idea. Just see what happens because it might not be the same over here. We have this, right? All the way left. Lifting the right, opening up the knee. And again, here you decide where exactly that foot goes. And if it's not the same, don't sweat it. Hug. So the tailbone stand extra tall. You decide where your hands go. Take your time with that. Sometimes when we rush through, we miss the point. That's the edge. Instead of falling down on the line. So find that edge, adding in what you need. Or not, right? And then bring it back in. And release it all. So let's inhale, stretch up. Exhale, take yourself into a fold. Nice and gentle and down. Let's step ourselves back to down dog. go ahead and drop on down into a child's pose. Just a couple breaths. That transition. From here, let's kind of sit up on the heels for just a moment. And we aren't going to be in Virasana, so if you don't love this, cushion your knees if you need to cushion your knees because they are going to be on the tops of your knees. Sometimes I don't like that too much. So from here, step your right foot forward. And ideally, maybe a 90-degree bend in the knee. So kneeling far stack, and the hips are square. Belly in. Your back toes can stay flat, or the foot can stay flat, or the toes can tuck under. Imagine pulling your legs toward each other. That will help with the stability here. We're going to take that left hand and see about finding the left heel or calf or whatever it is. Belly's working. So probably here, that right hip is popped forward. Pull it back. And see if you can pull your right shoulder back. From there, you can extend the arm, keeping it alongside the ear, maybe reach behind you a little bit. Gently look up, try not to let your head flop back. Keeping the legs pulling toward each other. Take another nice big breath. Gently roll yourself over toward the left to make your way back up. So we're going to switch our feet. Take the left foot forward. So work to find that stability here because otherwise it only gets worse, right? Hugging the legs toward each other, you decide. Sometimes that back foot heel down is a little bit easier for stability, but then you can't find it. So you have to play. Keeping square, right hand to the heel or calf or a block for sure. Extending the left arm if and when you're ready. We're going to pull that left arm or shoulder back, leveling it out. Maybe reaching back, looking up. Maybe not. Find where the challenge is. Make sure you can still breathe in it. And then let's go ahead and gently roll to the right to bring ourselves back up again. And then release the foot. Go ahead and sit back on your heels for just a moment. We aren't going to hang here. We need to pop, of course, too. Let's take one last down dog. Dropping on down to the knees. We'll bring the legs around front. So let's extend those legs nice and long. Flexing the feet, hip bone distance apart. Make sure you're upright on your pelvis here, prop with the knee, of course. We're going to inhale, stretch up. And exhale and fold forward. And as always, let those hands just fall where they fall. Try not to reach for your toes. We don't want to lose our neck, rounding the back. So keep the chest open and lifted, the shoulders down and back. And the head and neck, spine. Take another big breath. On your next inhale, let's come back up to the top again. And release your arms. Bringing the feet flat to the floor. We're going to work with both. We are going to roll back, so if you need to scoot forward or back on your mat, feel free. So roughly a 90-degree bend in the knee here. Taking the hands to the backs of the thighs, arms almost straight. Lift your chest. Feel it? You might not have to lift your toes. Otherwise, maybe just lift your toes. You can take the shins parallel to the floor. You can extend the legs. You can hang on or let go. Play with where the work is. Right? We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Hang on to the ankles. Draw those heels in. Lift your chest here and balance. And then let's see, curve the spine and rolling down to the back. Go ahead and leave the feet together. We're going to take them to the floor and just release the belly and your hip. Sometimes the lower back. Let's bring the knees together. Gently hug those knees into your chest. Rock a little bit side to side. Keeping the shins or the thighs into your chest, take the shins vertical. So it looks like your feet are stepping on the ceiling. You can hang on to the backs of the thighs or reach up and grab for the soles of the feet. We're going to pull down. So maybe you're just bringing your knees closer to your chest. Or you can open the knees a little bit and imagine bringing your knees into your armpits. Okay? Wiggle it around a little bit. Get in there. And then find your center and pull down evenly on your feet. Kick your feet back into your hands. And push and pull, trying to turn the tailbone toward the floor. And then we'll release it, taking the feet flat. Let's open the arms out into a T position here. We're going to pick the hips up and move them to the right edge of the mat. Drop the knees over to the left. So relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your legs. There's a million variations here, and if you want something a little different, feel free to add. So straightening the legs or crossing them or bringing the knees closer to the chest. Listening to your body. Taking a couple more breaths over on this side. And then gradually making your way back to the middle. Shifting the hips. And then working to your second side here. So hips left, knees right. Spine is long. The spine is long and the shoulders are relaxed. And notice if the body wants something a little bit different over here. Sometimes. Just a couple more breaths over here. Gently making your way back to the middle. Let's bring the knees into the chest. Rocking. Hugging the knees in, hugging the forehead to the knees, giving yourself a nice little squeeze. And then releasing and taking a full body stretch. Let's release the stretch and find Shavasana. So, reclining fully, feet flat, soles of the feet together, legs up the wall, seated meditation. There are a million places to be here as well. So, find what your body needs. And then just allow yourself to be here. You don't have to do anything. Still and quiet. Just a few moments for yourself this morning. have no place to go and nothing else to do for a little while, you can always stay where you are. Otherwise, begin to gently weighten the body, deepening the breath, wiggling. Taking another full body stretch if that sounds like a good idea. And then gently making your way back up to a seated position. Sitting well. And bringing the palms to touch. Bowing to the light within. Namaste. Just a great way to start the weekend, isn't it? So thanks for joining me, you guys. Have a great weekend. It is looking beautiful out there. Here. Have a good one. If I don't, well, I'm not going to see you guys before. I'll see you next week. Bye.